Dr. Paul Dignan, 3-minute outcomes. I'm going to dig in underneath the last 3-minute outcome video that a lot of people liked, which was about the idea of an output. The exciting thing about an output is that because it's controllable by an intervention, it's attributable to that intervention, we know who made it happen, and we can use it as a direct accountability. And often people set up whole systems just based on output accountability. But what I did in that video was I contrasted, as people usually do, an output with an outcome. And as one of the people who commented on that video, Nicholas Surele, pointed out, there's a problem with that because sometimes one person's output can be kind of like someone's outcome, and sometimes outcomes can be controllable. So we need another way of looking at it. This is called the terminological madness problem, where anyone who's been involved in this outcomes work knows people spend a long time talking about the definitions of these different things we work with. The way outcomes theory deals with this is it looks below, and it just conceives of the world as really a series of boxes. Someone makes a box happen, and that makes other boxes happen in a sequential process, which kind of goes on forever. What we're looking at with a logic or program theory, a theory of change, is kind of like a window on those series of boxes. So if we use relative terms within them, like outputs, intermediate outcomes, this can be a problem when we bang up against where the next window could go in that sequence. The best way of dealing with this is just to define our types of boxes under their features, the features which those boxes have, and forget about the names for a minute. The types of features boxes in outcomes models can have are things like relevance, sequential position, the influenceability, measurability, controllability, and attributability and accountability. So then we can set up a definition of anything we like, call it whatever you like. But if you want to think about an output is a box which is relevant, low, medium, generally in a sequence, is influenceable, measurable, controllable, attributable, and a direct accountability. Whereas an outcome, as most people conceive of it, is relevant, but it's a high sequential position, it's influenceable, but not necessarily those other things, not necessarily measurable, controllable, etc. This gives us a way, frees us up from just having to talk about the names and the definitions, frees us up to be a lot clearer. So a provider can ask their funder, for instance, yes, you want an outcome, but tell us in terms of the outcomes theory features what you want of that. And the communication between the funder and the provider can be crystal clear. Okay, so there's more of this, talking about this topic up on this URL. And if you want to look at the URL for the general series, that URL is here. That's 3-minute outcomes, Dr. Paul Dignan.